Laughter is comforting until you hear it in an empty house. That's when I learned that shadows can play too. It's been 10 years, but I still remember that night like it just happened. It was at my uncle's house in Mexico, a 2-story home tucked into the outskirts of a quiet neighborhood where nothing much ever happened. The kind of place you never expect a ghost story to come from. But maybe that's exactly why it stuck with me. Back then, I had just gotten my first dog. Still a pup, but protective, always at my side. That weekend, we'd gone to stay at my uncle's house overnight. It was just me, my 2 sisters, and the dog. The rest of the family had gone out, leaving the house to us for one night. At first, everything was normal. The house was modern, clean, no history of tragedy or strange events. Just a quiet home with pale yellow walls, large windows, and a balcony that faced the moon. That night, we laughed, stayed up late watching TV, and eventually turned in for bed. Each of us claiming a corner of the upstairs room. The dog curled up right next to me. It must have been around midnight when the first thing happened. My younger sister sat up in her blanket and whispered, "Did you hear that?" I hadn't, but I listened. Footsteps, light like a child's, running down the hallway, then laughter, short, high-pitched, playful, but strange. It didn't sound like anyone we knew. We all froze. Then I said the things we were all thinking. There's no kids here. At first, we assumed it had to be someone in the neighborhood, or maybe just our minds playing tricks. But the laughter, it wasn't muffled or distant. It was inside the house. We stared at the door, waiting, but nothing happened. The footsteps stopped. Eventually, we drifted off again, half asleep, half on edge. Then, it happened again. A soft click sound. Someone was trying to open our bedroom door. The knob jiggled slightly. My dog bolted upright and growled. I held my breath. My sisters were already sitting up, eyes wide, their faces pale in the moonlight that slipped through the balcony curtains. We didn't say a word. We just listened. Click. I whispered, "Did you lock the door?" "I thought you did," my older sister replied. That's when we noticed the shadow. It moved across the balcony outside, slow, tall, gliding like it wasn't walking, just passing by. At first, we thought maybe it was someone in the family. But something felt off. It didn't move like a person. It was heavier, darker than the night around it, like it was absorbing the moonlight. I crept to the balcony window and peeked through the curtain. Nothing. Just the empty night and the wind brushing the trees. We all laying back down, trying to convince ourselves it was just our imagination, or maybe a family member checking on us. But none of us truly believed that. At around 3 or 4 a.m., it happened again, louder this time. Bang. It came from downstairs. And then again, bang, bang. It sounded like someone slamming the front door or throwing something heavy against the wall. My dog went wild, growling, barking like he was ready to tear something apart. He rushed to the bedroom door, scratching at it like he wanted out. We didn't move, we didn't breathe. We just stared at one another in complete terror. Then came the footsteps again, running, this time up the stairs, getting closer and closer to our door. Each thud made the floorboards creak, and it felt like the whole house was trembling. And then it stopped, right at our door. My dog was silent now, tail down, ears flat, growling so low it was barely a sound. We didn't dare speak. I thought even if I blinked too loud, something would come through the wall and take me. Then something knocked. Not on the door, on the window. The one that opened to the balcony. 3 slow, deliberate taps. Tap, tap, tap. I grabbed my phone, hand shaking, but there was no signal. No Wi-Fi, nothing. I crawled toward the window on all fours and barely moved the curtain. Empty. The balcony was empty. But there, on the glass, were handprints. Small, childlike. Pressed into the condensation like they had been made from within. And that's when we realized the balcony was only accessible from the inside room. The door had been locked. No one could have gotten out there. No one living. I backed away slowly, my mind racing, trying to make sense of what was happening. That's when I remembered what my uncle had said once as a joke, or at least I thought it was a joke. That sometimes, when he was home alone, he'd hear kids playing upstairs, even though there were none. He brushed it off, said it must be from the neighbors, but now I knew it wasn't. The rest of the night, we didn't sleep. We kept the lights on and huddled together. The noises stopped. The running, the banging, the laughter, everything. When morning finally came and sunlight broke through the window, we opened the bedroom door and crept down the hallway. The whole house was still, normal. No overturned furniture, no doors left open. Nothing out of place, except for one thing. Near the front door, lying in the middle of the rug, was a small toy ball, old, worn, and cracked. We had never seen it before. My uncle didn't have kids, and we didn't bring it. That morning, we packed up and left without saying much. We never stayed overnight again, and though we told our uncle what happened, he just smiled nervously and said, "Maybe you imagined it. That house was just built. Nothing bad ever happened there." But something didn't add up. A place doesn't have to be old to be haunted. Sometimes the land remembers, or something finds its way inside. To this day, I can't explain what we heard or saw that night. I still see that shadow sometimes when I close my eyes. I still hear that laughter echoing down the hallway, and that toy ball. My uncle said he threw it out, but a few weeks later, he found it again, on the balcony, right outside the bedroom window.